You might see me as a typical senior executive. However, my journey here has not been so typical. I'm going to share with you some of my successes and my struggles, and the story of a young girl who grew up to become an impactful female executive while changing the world. My name is Michele Ashby, and this is my Oxford Talk. I imagine a world where all the seats in the boardroom are filled equally with women and men from diverse backgrounds and different ethnicities. I imagine a world that is stopping cancer from hurting young people and children. I imagine a world where women are treated fairly and feel safe in their home. Can you imagine? That is why I am currently committed to training 1,000 women to get on corporate boards. What motivated me to want to help so many other women get on boards? It was that aha moment when I realized I had become a trusted advisor and an insider in the good old boy network in the mining industry, of all places. But let's go back to the past when I was an imaginative, spunky 5-year-old wanting to become an astronaut or become Miss America. I believed there were no boundaries for me. I was brave enough to knock on a stranger's door and ask for a new friend. I remember clearly looking out our picture window at home and noticing a new neighbor moving in nearby. And it looked like they had a little girl just my age. So when my mom gave me permission, I put a smile on my face and walked out the front door, down the sidewalk. I crossed a busy street. I was excited. I went up their sidewalk, got up on the front porch, and knocked on the door. Knock, knock, knock. When the woman opened the door, I said, "Hi, my name's Michele, and I am 5 years old. I live in the red house right over there. I saw you have a little girl who might be my age. Can she come out and play with me?" And the mother looked at me and said, "Why, Michele, it's so nice to meet you. I do have a little girl who's your age. Her name is Gloria, and she can come out and play with you right now." Wow! I had successfully used my observation, curiosity, and boldness to ask for what I wanted, and I got it. What a great lesson to set the tone for my future. That audacity, curiosity, and willingness to go into the unknown have guided me throughout my life. Let's jump ahead a bit. After high school, I met and married my husband, and we had 2 children together. I had been dreaming of a loving marriage with a husband, sharing our lives and being partners and raising our kids. And it did start out that way. However, as time went on, it was not really a very ideal relationship. In fact, I became distraught because he started controlling me and eventually emotionally abusing me over the years. I remember thinking, if I ever get out of this, I'm never coming back. I yearned to return to that time of feeling safe and free to be myself and to ask for what I wanted without being harassed or abused. My last-ditch effort to survive and try and save the marriage was going back to work, seeking a career as a stockbroker. But as I prepared for the Series 7 exam to get my brokerage license, my then husband was waiting for me to fail. I distinctly remember sitting at the kitchen table late at night, poring over my materials, trying to study for this test. And he would walk around the table and say horrible things to me like, I don't know why you're studying. You're not going to pass this. And what do you know about stock markets? Who do you think you are? And no one will hire you. Well, that fueled the fire and made me want to do this even more. I knew I had one chance to pass that test. And I did it. I did it. I interviewed for jobs and I had 4 offers. I ended up at a great firm who taught me everything I needed to know to become a successful stockbroker, and even invited me to become their inside mining analyst. My husband and I divorced shortly after that. I was on my way, and I never looked back. I had launched into the 2 male-dominated worlds of finance and mining, and I loved it. I was always the only woman in the room, and I knew that this was a privilege for me. As I maneuvered through these 2 male-dominated sectors of mining and finance, I also recognized that there were very few other women in leadership roles, and this overall unwillingness to help each other, or me for that matter. There was a real feeling of competition and jealousy among women going up the ladder. And frankly, for me, I felt more comfortable and safe in the good old boy network in the mining industry, and that's where I stayed for nearly 30 years. While my career was moving forward, I was a single mom, raising my son and daughter, and very committed and dedicated to them. This was not without its challenges. All those extra hours of doing the laundry, making the meals, cleaning the house, taking them to and from all their activities, not to mention as they grow into teenagers with raging hormones and their peer pressure and making their grades, dating, driving, and all the other things that are alluring to kids that age. That became mild for me when my daughter Danny was diagnosed with a rare type of bone cancer called Ewing sarcoma at the age of 18. She'd literally just graduated from high school and was looking forward to university and becoming a fashion designer. Ewing sarcoma is a deadly cancer and was already advanced in her by the time of her diagnosis. For 16 months, she was in intensive treatment, and she fought her cancer. Unfortunately, she lost that battle. Danny died. She passed away. Our family was devastated. I had to do something. Danny had said to me, "Mom, we were picked for a reason." I became driven to find a cure for the type of cancer she had. I needed a purpose, and I formed a foundation to fund research. I had lived a parent's worst nightmare, and the grief was smothering me. I barely made it through losing her. I got help, and eventually my grief eased. While all of this was going on in my personal life, my career was skyrocketing, and I was even more determined to succeed and make a lot of money. Why a lot of money? Because I figured out that if I make more money, I can give more money away to fight cancer. And I did make a lot more. And I was able to write 6-figure checks myself and donate it to cancer research. The nonprofit I had founded gave over $1 million to cancer research over the year, and this made a huge difference for others affected with Ewing sarcoma. My unique career turned out to be perfectly timed and curated to make me a trusted advisor, a financial success, and a meaningful philanthropist. I was making a difference, and that mattered to me, for myself and my daughter. Over the years, as I continued onward in my career, I started to get invited to sit on mining company boards. I was still the only woman in the room most of the time. There was the stark absence of female representation at the top, and eventually that marked another turning point for me. With over 20 years' experience on numerous corporate boards, I realized that while I had ascended the ladder, many other women were being left behind and not getting those same opportunities. My curiosity kicked in, and I wanted to know why not. I embarked on interviews with over 200 women leaders, uncovering the barriers that hindered them. This was another aha moment for me. I now knew I could share all my lessons learned with other women to get on boards and be in the most powerful rooms in the world. I decided at that moment to set the bodacious goal of training 1,000 women to get on boards. I then created a curriculum based on all that I knew from being in boardrooms myself, and engaged other professionals to establish a board certification, which is now globally recognized. I started teaching women all over the world to get on boards and become valued board members. I've empowered hundreds of women to secure board positions, fundamentally changing the composition of corporate leadership towards a more inclusive and equitable future. Why is this significant? Because diversity at the top will affect all our lives. Outcomes are proven to increase return on investment, improve employee retention, and increase shareholder value. Women and men working together complement each other and therefore cover more issues more deeply than in a collegial environment of all like-minded characters. This makes sense. Imagine one woman joining a new board and asking to see the numbers on employee compensation. They can ask, are the women and the men paid equally from the bottom to the top of our company? And if not, why not? This could lead to pay equity very quickly. As I ponder my own journey from that determined 5-year-old girl to the mentor for the forthcoming generation of female leaders, I'm reminded of the importance of fostering these innate qualities we possess: curiosity, courage, and the pursuit of purpose. And so I urge you, irrespective of your gender, age, or role, to contemplate how you can contribute to shaping a more inclusive, diverse, and equitable world. We can make a difference and change the world. How many women or girls do you know who want to make a difference? Who want to get on a board? Or want to be in politics? Or be the best mom they can be? Let's do our part and help them get where they want to be. And before I go, I invite you to think about your own journey and check in with your 5-year-old self to see if they are getting what they want. Thank you very much.